I'm not gonna waste a lot of time tonight. It's late. I got training at the cave in the morning. I just wanted to touch a little bit on this topic. Happy Father's Day to all of the excellent fathers in the world. Happy Father's Day. Happy birthday to my guy Shaka Singor, my guy Ghetto, and anybody else who had a birthday over the weekend. Shaka is my guy and a great father. Um, I've watched him uh, groom Sekou. Sekou is a young king. Sekou loves reading. He loves the arts. Sekou loves things that some people, kids, they don't even understand. They don't have a clue about. So I want to give a great shout out to my guy Shaka Singor. That is one of my very good friends. We are both busy as hell. We don't talk like we used to. We don't talk every day. We don't talk every other day or anything like we used to talk a little more. We both got a lot going on right now, but that is a very good friend. And if you are not familiar with Shaka Singh, or Shaka did 19 years in prison for a second degree murder, and Shaka came home. And I remember when I first touched down, when I touched down in 2011 October. The I stayed with my sister off of Joy Road and Meyer, and when I stepped out the house the day after my release, and a guy walked past, y'all. This couldn't be the craziest story, but a guy walked past. And when the guy walked past, he seen me outside, and I probably looked like prison. I didn't have anything on but a white tee, and I still had my prison cut. And when he walked past, he just looked at me. The guy looked at me. He said, "God," he said, "Bro, how long have you been out?" Basically. And I was like, "Man, today the first morning." Literally, I woke up, brushed my teeth, stretched, did a couple push-ups, and I walked outside and I bumped into this guy, and he was like, "Man, it's all in your face. I could tell that you just coming home." And I was like, "Yeah," and we kicked it for a minute. And he was basically telling me, "Look, I don't have anything for you, but stay strong, man. You know, the world with this and that." It's the end of 2011. Then he asked me, he said, "Man, are you familiar with Shaka?" And I was like, "Shaka?" He was like, "Yeah, Shaka X." And he was like, I said, "Shaka, yeah, man." He like, "With the dreads." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's my guy." He was like, "Man, he right here at this shop at the corner." It was right at the corner. It was the Fame shop. And he gave me Shaka number. I text Shaka. He was like in school by the time I text him. I remember him saying, "I'm in school. I'm gonna call you back." And when I called him, he said, "I'm gonna be at the shop later today." I got up there, and me and Shaka been locked in since I was already tight with Shaka before, but since I came home, literally the next morning, the next day, I was up there and I met Fame, and me and Fame tight. And I went up to Fame shop. I recorded it. And when Fame came and answered the door, he called me his little brother. It almost made me cry. Now he always called me his little brother. But I love Fame. If you're not familiar with Fame, then you need to go up to 313 on Livernois and get you something nice, fashionable. And I credit Fame with teaching me about branding and helping me understand quality and things like that, because his influence on my life is almost immeasurable. And anything that I've asked him for, he's done it. I've tried to do interviews with different celebrities and things about 15, maybe 14 years ago, and Fame was one of the first people. Like, he literally was like, "Bro, I'll do the interview with you. You can come record it. We can do it over the phone, whatever you want to do." But that's another great father. Shout out to my guy Fame. Shout out to my guy Shaka Senghor. And once again, happy birthday to Shaka. Now to the matter at hand. And people tapping in, y'all, I love when y'all tap right in. If y'all have any questions or any type of comments, please leave them. If I don't see them, and I can't share them because they're on my regular Facebook page, I will add them to the chat via verbal. I will put them out verbally so people understand what the comment is. Now, I recently seen this post by Makeiva. If you're not familiar with Makeiva, she grew notoriety through social media and movies. They try to downplay the movies, but movies. And she is a celebrity from Detroit. She is a social media celebrity from Detroit. And King James is also a social media celebrity. And they do really good on social media. And their social media is not really messy. Like, it's very loving, and they show their relationship in such a positive light. I love that, and I see it, and I really just started following Makeiva, but I love that because you see so much negativity and things happen even during a relationship that show people that relationships are real. They go through ups and downs and things happen. So, um, with any further without further ado, I just want to touch base on what happened recently and why I'm making this post. So, I am a stepfather, and Lily, who is my fiance, she is also a stepmother. So when I met Lily, she already had Eli. He was 3 years old, and Eli's father is active in his life and has always been active in his life. And I have Cinco, who is my child from a past relationship, and I get along with Eric, and who is Eli's father, and Lily gets along with Jasmine, who is Cinco's mother, and I don't have like real problems with my ex, and we don't go through problems with her ex. And anytime there's been situations that may have, turned into bigger problems, we were able to have conversations and put those fires out as quickly as possible. And I'm telling you, being a stepfather or a stepmother comes with its own set of difficulties, and you cannot minimize those difficulties, because no matter what you do, you are still a stepfather or a stepmother, and they could call you mom or dad, and you can have a certain type of connection with the child, but you are still a stepfather or a stepmother. So you that is always something that is there. Is always something that is over your head, no matter how great of a stepfather or a stepmother you are. So in this particular case, Makeiva has a child outside of their relationship, and his father is a social media person too, so he has a decent following. It's not Makeiva's following, but it's a decent following. So um what I have done is a little research, because I wasn't um really I wasn't really I wasn't really knowledgeable of everything that had went on. But after seeing the posts and going back and reading through everything and checking out what the problem was, I felt like I had something to contribute to this situation and to this topic. So when we have blended families, it's not necessarily a Brady Bunch situation. In these particular situations, there are thin lines, and there are things that we have to tiptoe around not to offend someone. So when I post things about Eli, I don't necessarily overdo the father thing, because his father is very active on social media and has a social media following, and he's known around Detroit. So I don't ever want to, and he will say, introduce me as his stepfather, and we have a very respectful relationship between us. But I try to not go over the line when I post things about Eli, and I try to not make things seem more than what they are, because his father does contribute. So when I watched Makeiva and I seen the post that she made, I seen what could make some people feel a certain way, but I don't necessarily agree. So, and what she said at one point was that you could be used to the bare minimum, or you could be used to things being a certain way and you being happy with it because you've seen worse, but that doesn't mean that it's right. So in her situation, and I believe her child's father's name is Rob, if I'm not mistaken, um he has done some things for their child. He has, quote unquote, watched their child while she worked. And as she explained, this is when she was in the club. And this was maybe 3 to 4 years ago, that he was very active because she had to go work. And she said that he doesn't contribute monetarily the way that she thinks he should. And she seemed to be very reasonable in the fact that she does things a little differently, meaning that she buys designer clothes, Givenchy and Gucci, Prada, whatever. And she said, I'm not saying that I expect him to provide in the manner that I provide in, but I expect for him to provide as best as he could with the income that he has. And I feel like that is very reasonable. I feel like that is very reasonable. What I don't feel like is reasonable, and that could just be me. I do okay for myself, and my kids wear decent clothes, but my kids don't wear Gucci, Louis, Prada, and all of that. Um, I've always linked on teaching character, and although my kids wear Jordans and things like that, um, I don't believe in leading with money, and it's nothing wrong with that. And I don't knock anybody that teaches their kids that this is the way that they want them to dress, or this is the way you set a standard for them, and I'm okay with that. What people are mad at is the fact that, hey, he kept his son. What she's saying is he hasn't done much of that in the past 6, 7, 8, whatever months, and for whatever reason. Now, from my understanding, the father is saying he's been going through hell financially. He's almost lost his place. He's almost lost cars or whatever else he has going on. But none of his baby moms has checked on him. So this is another problem when you have multiple baby mothers. So when you have a baby mother here, baby mother there, you don't fully understand what is necessary to care for a child. In my situation, I have always been in the home of my children, other than when I was away at school, you know, school, in case my kids watch it. So when I was away at school, I still understood what it took to raise these kids. And every chance I got, I made sure money was sent home. I made sure I contributed something to the household because I understood what it took to raise kids in a home because I was in the home. I don't know how Makeiva and Rob's situation started off and what their situation was before James. But I'm almost willing to bet that it wasn't very long that Rob was in the home with the child, if at all, because Rob would understand that it takes more than babysitting or watching your child to raise a child. You have to be in a home with the kids. If you see that someone has 4, 5, 6 kids, usually if they have more than one um other parent, like other baby mom, let's stick with men to make this make sense. But if you see a man that has multiple children by multiple women, they usually don't live in the home because you're not just running around making 5 or 6 kids. It's very time consuming. I have 3 biological and 1 bonus, and I'm telling you, it's a lot. Eli's in high school now. Eli's in football and baseball and whatever else. And he wants to go to parks and he wants to go to friends' homes and different things like that. And it's a lot. That's a lot of ripping and running. That's a lot of responsibility. And we are both entrepreneurs and we both have contracts and jobs that keep us in with stable incomes too. So she's doing hair over here. She's doing other things over there. I'm doing contracts over here. I have other contracts for the summer and more. Like I have so much going on and I still have clients. Before I got on here, I had a client texting me. Well, she was actually messaging me on Facebook. She might be on the live because I said, hold on, we got to deal with this tomorrow. I'm going live. I was preparing to go live. But I'm telling you, if the parent is in the home, they understand that you have to do more than just watch a child every weekend or just watch a child here and there. There are things that children need. There are costs associated with caring for children that you have to be in the home to understand because you don't get that type of understanding on the weekend. So when Makeiva is talking about something, she's explaining it from a standpoint of somebody that's in the home with the child. Now, most women aren't just handing over their sons to the father. So if a father is outside of the home, except for somebody like my guy Ty, shout out to my guy Ty. Ty has a daughter that just graduated. Shout out to Tiana for her graduation. But Ty's daughter was living with his mom while he was away on vacation, at school. And he came home and took her. And I don't want to go into the situation with her mother, but she is basically not in the picture. And Ty in the last 5 years has taken his daughter who was going through hell at school, and he has came and took her under his wing, bought a home and made her comfortable enough to where she's going to school looking nice, feeling good, and she is a high school graduate as of last month, and she is preparing for a very bright future because her father stepped up and handled his business. Now, there are most of the situations are men are leaving these children to be raised by the women while they go out and make more children. They don't understand what it takes to raise a child. It takes more than a pair of shoes every month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, clothes, whatever the financial contribution. It takes more than that. It takes more than watching the kids on the weekend, as Makeiva has just stated that the father was doing before this year. He did that a little bit or a lot, whatever. And people will always see him on social media. Y'all gotta stop thinking that social media is real life, because this man may have his kids on the weekends and take good pictures, and that's fine. But it takes so much more than that. Children have to get to school, get back from school. They have to eat every day. They have things that go on. I do not do weekends with Cinco when he is not living with me. Cinco is coming back to live with me this summer, but he has not lived with me over the past couple of years. We gave it a shot with his mom and whatever because he was homesick or whatever. While I was gone, he was basically between Lily and his mom. And when I came home, it was so much structure and I was on his ass that he was basically running to his mom. I just went over there. What's crazy is I just left Cinco's mom house cutting his brother hair. I haven't had a relationship with his mom in 10 years or more, something like that. And I was over there cutting his big brother hair because he texted me earlier today and said, "Hey, Alvin, can you come cut my hair, whenever you get some free time?" I said, "Look, I'll get over there today." Now, from my knowledge, his father was just here and didn't take him to get a haircut. But when I was dealing with his mom, his father stayed around the corner and would keep a haircut and wouldn't take him to get a haircut because he doesn't understand what it takes to raise a child. He was not given the responsibility of actually raising his child. He was basically given a free ride. He could be a father when he felt like it. So when people are watching these social media influencers or social media celebrities or social media whatever, and they say, "Oh my God, he's a great father. Oh my God, she's a great mother." They are giving you snapshots of the truth. And I don't know the child's father to dog him in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm just I'm just telling it like it is. If you are not in the home with the child, if you are not there and presently there, I am not in the home with Cinco, but I am there so much as far as anything that's needed. Cinco has an early dismissal. I'm there. I don't care about whatever the weekends. Cinco just called me and said, "Dad, I'm not going to come back tonight. I'll come back tomorrow," whatever. And I'm fine with that because I spend so much time with Cinco. Cinco will call, text me, "Dad, I need money for this." This is what she's saying. Kids need things that are, listen, y'all, we got to be realistic. Kids nowadays are expensive. Kids are expensive. All my kids have iPhone 7, even Cash. Cash is somewhere right now outside of my office cutting up right now. I hear him loud. He probably doing Michael Jackson dances across the living room. Cash has an iPhone 17. My cell phone bill for my family is $500 to $600 a month. So if you don't understand that, you don't understand that you have a responsibility. You have a major responsibility when you have children with someone. So you can't say, "I keep my son on a weekend," and feel like you doing fatherly duties, because children don't just exist on the weekend. Children have to eat during the week. Children have to be clothed every day. Children have to be somewhere almost every day. You have to spend gas money. Children want to go over their friends' homes. Children want to go to, I had to take Yaya. I was doing something on Saturday. I was busy as hell. By the time I got home, Yaya wanted to go to a birthday party. So I had to take her, get a car, put money in the car. Like, children cost every day. This is not about you keeping a kid on the weekends and feeling like you fulfilled your parently duties. You are wrong. You are 100% wrong. And social media is 100% wrong. The problem here is that we have lowered the standard so low that we accept anything and we call it great. People piss on us and tell us that it's raining. And that's the problem. We have accepted so little from people and we give them pats on the back. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about the not teaching my kids to be number two in moral victories. So you think that a little bit of something is better than nothing. So you want to come on here and act like somebody is being a great parent when they're not. That's not what being a great parent is. Children need things. I'm at every donuts with dads, every daddy daughter dance, everything, parent teacher conferences, where I'm at everything. I'm up at Cinco school probably more than his mom. They don't even really want to talk to his mama, even if she catches that. She know they don't even want to talk to his mama. They call me, "Hi, Mr. Hill." He's in Southwest. Hi, Mr. Hill. This is such and such and such. I call you. They want to talk to me. I pulls up. I'll be there. I'm on my way. Hi, Alvin was acting up in gym today. I'm on my way. That's what being a father is. And if James is that type of father, she is not wrong for giving him the credit that she gave him on social media. This is what's wrong with people. We always have to worry about somebody's feelings. Why do she need to worry about the biological father's feelings when she's giving props to her man and she is saying, look, you've done a little, but you ain't done enough. You ain't done enough. And she is not a messy person. I've never seen her in real mess. Never. And like I said, I haven't been following her all her life. And I've never seen this woman in real mess. So she's not the person that's over there, over there, over there. She's been dealing with that man for a couple years. And she's saying, you've been great. You've helped me financially, which he should. He's in the home. He's a stepfather. You've helped me do this. You've done this. And I've never had that type of help. And she's saying she's never had that type of help. So what if she gave the baby's father a shout out 2 years ago? 3 years ago, 4 years ago. What's wrong with her giving him a shout out? Yeah, he watched his son. She was grateful for that so she can go work and make some money. If the father is stunting and fronting on social media and she feel like he can contribute more than he's contributing, that's something that they have to take up amongst each other because social media is all smoke and mirrors. I don't believe nothing I see on here. I don't believe anything. I was going to cuss, but I don't want my monetization. Yes, I monetized on YouTube. I don't want the monetization bother. So let's just say he doesn't, when it comes to financing, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I have a teenager. It's expensive. I have a daughter that is a bill amongst herself. My daughter is in two different cheerleading groups on two different teams. We're paying fees on top of fees. She needs shoes and clothes and this and that and that. Children get expensive. She has practice on Monday, practice on Tuesday, practice over here on Wednesday and Thursday, practice over here on Friday, Saturday. If you haven't been in the home, you don't understand that. And as an entrepreneur, I'm always doing something. I'm busy. I'm taking calls. I'm doing Zooms. I'm over here. I'm over there. I haven't been on live in the past few months because I've been studying this. I've been studying um, business financing basically. So I have paid for a course with Ashley. Shout out to my girl Ashley. Ashley really been helping me out and loan and actually understanding business loans and business finances and different things like that. I've learned so much over the past 8 or 9 weeks that I've barely been on social media. If you look on I've barely been on here. This is the first live I've done in that amount of time, probably. This is the very first live I've done in probably close to 2 months since the one I did with Gov, if I'm not mistaken. It's the first one I've done in a while. But this kind of touched my soul after Father's Day. So I'm only telling y'all this because it's real. It's real. Being a step parent is real. Being any stepmother or stepfather, it's real. It's real. And I want to give a shout out to James for being a great stepfather if that's what she feels like he's being. Why does she have to water him down to not make somebody who's not doing the right thing feel bad? Listen, my guy, if you got 3 or 4 kids over here, over there, over there, this is what the baby father's saying. I've been going through this. I've been going through that. How? If the kids are not in your home, every day I have to schedule my things around picking my children up. Every day I have to make sure they ate something. I do have a woman and she do the same thing. I'm just saying that I have to do this. Like if she's busy, things have to get done. If you don't have your children in your home, Why should your children's mothers be responsible or care that you over there falling off? Why should they care that you falling off? And this is the problem with what's happening in our community. What's happening in our community is y'all women, y'all start dogging men, but when there are so many men that's available for y'all. But y'all find men that already have 3 kids, 3 baby mamas, three this, three, four kids, 4 baby mamas, 4 this, and then y'all, those are the guys that y'all deal with. And then y'all have a baby and y'all want to dog the men. Instead of taking responsibility and saying, I should have picked somebody with a little less going on who showed a little more character. Because if somebody has 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different women and they are not with any of them, what what do you think makes you different? You think the fifth time is the charm? Is that what you think? You think this man is all of a sudden going to be a stay-at-home dad? Like what is going through your head? So when you really think about the numbers, everything is askew because they say that we have a higher percentage of leaving our women single parents when we don't. The problem is a lot of the women are steady picking at the same batch of men and getting the same results. A man that's basically dumping and running. He dumping and running. Even if he does care for the children, it's not in the right way. It's not in a full, loving, wholesome way. It's not in I'm home with the children. When if a man is home with the children, a man is not out making more children. He's not out making more children. I'm not anywhere saying I want 2 or 3 more kids. The kids I have is more than enough. When you get a guy that has 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different women and they're still out throwing that mug everywhere, boom, 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 and you out catching it, you the fool. You the fool. Now, if a man has 3 children, he was married for 10 years and he's recently divorced or whatever, and that's somebody that you want to deal with, that man may be okay for a relationship. At this point, what we have to accept is that the people that want to be in a relationship are probably in a relationship. They're probably already in a relationship. That's something that we have to accept right now. For the most part, nothing is absolute, nothing is 100%. But for the most part, the people who actually want to be in a relationship are already in a relationship. They're already in a relationship. If a woman wants to be married, she's already in a relationship. She may be married, she may not be, she may be on her way to marriage, but most of the people who want to be in a relationship are already in a relationship. That's why the dating pool is pissy because the people in the dating pool, they want to be there for whatever reasons. Maybe the men want to be there because they having their way with the women. They can sleep with this woman over here on Monday, another woman on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Maybe the women that's still in the dating pool enjoy being taken out. They enjoy being wine and dine. They enjoy being whatever, the center of attention, whatever it may be. But whoever is single now probably enjoys being single unless they're coming out of some type of long-term relationship. Now, there are also serial monogamists who just jump in and out of relationships. They break up on Monday, they back in a relationship before Wednesday. Those are a whole different type of people. But for the most part, if a person is single right now, they are exactly where they want to be at. And they can admit it or not admit it, whatever it may be, but it is what it is. If a person is not in a committed relationship or just getting out of a committed relationship, they are exactly where they want to be at in that pissy ass dating pool where they are continuing to muddy those waters. Stop believing the hype. If you out here right now, I feel bad for you because what's going on right now is a travesty, especially among the black community, because the black community is suffering the most from this, and the social media people are taking full advantage of it. They are posting all of this BS here and there, where it's men versus women, and it's women versus men, and the men did this and the women did this. Even this situation and turned into this big old propaganda nightmare. And I'm telling you, it's nothing that she said was wrong to me, because responsibility is responsibility, and you can't turn that off on the weekdays, and you can't turn that back on the weekends, and you can't take time off. If she's saying that her or her son has not said, hey, you don't need to be over there, or I don't want to be over there, and she's saying he hasn't had his son in a multitude of months, so she's saying since the beginning of the year he may have been over there 2 or 3 times. Stop playing, and y'all stop being haters because that woman has what she has going on, and she is famous or whatever. You feel like you hating on her because her and her guy have a nice relationship and they are a beautiful couple, and you may feel a certain way because she found somebody to take care of hers like he's his, and you feel like, why can't I find that? That's your fault. You should pay attention to what she's saying. Stop expecting the bare minimum, stop accepting the bare minimum, and stop expecting for other people to accept the bare minimum. She was clear about the father may not being able to afford things that they can afford. And she was fine with that. Now, if she would have said, you came over here with new Nikes and I wanted this and that, then I would say you crazy. He bought new shoes. What's the problem? But she was saying, hey, I'm cool with whatever you contribute, but you're not contributing. She was very honest about what he did contribute. Most of the women who say somebody's a deadbeat or somebody is this, they're not even going to say they bought drawers and socks or whatever else. They're not going to say for the birthday he bought shoes. Most of the people who are making a statement about somebody being a deadbeat, they're going to make them a complete deadbeat. And she didn't do that. And it's nothing but respect for that, because she told a whole truth to me. She gave the whole side of the story. Now, the dad may come on here and he may say, she's lying on me. Now, if she's lying, then that's something different. But if what she said is true, then he is as close to a deadbeat as close to a deadbeat. Like, he is close to a deadbeat as you're going to get without being a deadbeat. These children need time. They need money. They need all kinds of things, bro. They need all types of things, bro. They need guidance. And she's saying that James is giving him guidance and teaching him how to be a man and be responsible. That is something that children have to learn. You being a babysitter on the weekends and just keeping your kid while she go and work or whatever's going on, that doesn't make you a father. I talked to Cinco about being a man. Cinco friends and gangs. I talk to Cinco. I say, you don't have to do that. You have a father and 2 moms. You don't got to do that. We had that conversation today. Cinco, you have the opportunity to be great. Just focus on being great. You don't got to worry about what's going on in the streets, because I'm not going to let you be in the streets. So when I see these people on social media dogging this woman because she told her truth, now if the father come on there and say she's a lie and he shows receipts or whatever, then I can say, okay, then she terrible for lying on that man. But if he hasn't seen his child but 2 or 3 times this year, he's close to a deadbeat. And some of y'all may feel different because the father of your child may have not seen your child 2 or 3 times this year. So some of y'all have a different feeling because it's all relative. But me being the father that I am, and me getting calls even like today where I had to get Cinco to practice, where I had to go and cut his brother's head, who is someone else's child, and I haven't dealt with his mom in 10 years or so. But I still went over there and cut his hair, and I do it every single time he calls and asks me or texts and asks me, hey, can you cut my hair? I go do it. I go do it. I know his father is a piece of POS. I know it. I know that he is. He was when he was young and I was around. I know it. So I know your father not going to send you money to get your hair because he didn't move somewhere else and had kids. But I'm just saying, I understand it. So if he asks me something, I'll do it. If he needs some guidance and he asks me a question, I'll do it. I cut his hair today, ask him, did he still have the same girlfriend or this and that and that? But I'm just telling you that we have a community of really good fathers that I am surrounded by. My friends are good fathers. I'm not letting anybody get away with the bare bare minimum and giving them any props or praise or dues for them doing the bare minimum. There is a responsibility that you have when you have children that you may have to go without some things sometimes to make sure your children have if it get tight. That's something that I have to do. There are days when I'm tired and I just want to kick my feet off. Like I said, I walked in the house from doing something Saturday. I took Eli to the Boys to Men conference. It's a conference where we talked about issues that teenagers face, and we had a very good discussion that lasted 4 hours. I was there from 1 to 5. Mind you, this is not my biological son, but he is 15 and he is dealing with adult issues that are arising right now. And I couldn't wait to take him to this Boys to Men conference. I couldn't wait. And we had a discussion on the way home. Sometimes the discussions don't go the way that I really want them to go, but we having these discussions. At some point, he's going to see that these discussions are meaningful and he will have a little more input. But right now, all I can do is impart my wisdom upon him and hope that something lands where it should land. But I walked in the house from that, and my daughter had a party that she wanted to attend at 6. So I had to come in, get my head together. I brought what I do. Okay, so I did all of that, and then I talked to his godmom and we kicked it, and then because I haven't seen her in like a year, maybe, no, maybe 2 years now. So we kicked it for a little while. Then I took Yaya to the party. And on the way back, I went and got pizza for everybody that was here. I had a house full of kids, cheer kids, other kids, a bunch of kids. It was more kids here when I got back than was there when I left. And I still bought everybody pizzas because I wanted to chill. By that time, I wanted to watch a Netflix show or two. Boom, I was chilling. But I couldn't even get to what I wanted to get to until I had tended to my children. And then I had to go pick up Yaya because this whole time her mom was doing hair. So I had to go pick up Yaya because the party was over. I'm just explaining how being a father or a mother works. You have things that you have that come up while you're trying to do your best and being, taking care of your business. And when you only do weekends and then you say you can't do this weekend or you don't, so you've just taken 6 months off. You only feel like that's okay when you have not had children in the home with you. The only way you can take 6 months off is if you sending that mom some type of child support during the month. Whether that's $200 a week, $100 a week, whatever. For you to feel like you cannot get to your child in any type of extended period of time, then you need to send some type of monetary contribution because whatever's going on, that other parent still has to get it done. They still have to get it done. When I was going away on vacation, in school, when I was going away, I'm telling you, every chance I got, I sent something. Some of my friends would be like, "Jackpot, I got $100 for you. What you need? Go get Cinco a pair of shoes. Hey, such and such, this and that and that. Just take it to Lily. Lily, just whatever you need help with. There you go." When people had money, and sometimes it would be more. It'd be a few $100s. I was in there hustling. I had a store, and I would sell stamps, and sometimes I would get $300-400 worth of stamps that month to sell, and I say just send it to my woman. And baby, just send me $50 so I could put it on the phone. Like that, I didn't care. I understood what it took because I was in the home with my child. I was in the home with my children. So I knew that things cost. For you to feel like it's okay for you to be a weekend parent or a monthly parent or every month parent or every 6-month parent, you could not have lived in the home with that child over any extended period of time to understand how much it costs, how much a parent inside the home has to sacrifice to raise a child the right way. Now, if you're one of them people that just throw your kids in front of a TV, that's different. But my kids are involved in all types of things. And sometimes it's in Southwest Detroit, it's on the east side, it's on the west side. So I'm pulled all over the place. I remember one day in particular, when we stayed east, Eli had practice east. Right? Yaya had practice on the west side. Cinco had practice in Southwest. I was all over the city that night. I was all over the city that night. If you think I'm lying, you can ask Lily. And I was already tired. I wake up at 3 in the morning. I was already tired. So what I did was we stayed east. So I dropped Eli off east. I went west and dropped Yaya off at practice. Then I went to Cinco practice to pick him up. I came back west and picked Eli. I came back east and picked Eli up. Went back west to pick Yaya up, and then came back home east. You can't tell me that you being a weekend daddy has anything to do with that. It's not even close to that. I didn't get home to 9:30 at night. And I literally hadn't stopped since about 6. I literally ran east to west, west to southwest, southwest back east, to go back west, to come back east. I did that. I did that with no complaints. You know what I did? Had cash in the back seat, the music turned up, and we handled that business. We handle that business. If you have not been in the home with your child, you don't understand. And if you are a mother that has not had a father in the home with that child over any extended period of time, you don't understand. And I mean a real father. I'm not talking about somebody you shacking up with, he breaking your back and ain't doing nothing for your kids. I'm saying if you have not had a real man in that home that contributes to that home, that take care of those kids, whether they're his or not, if you have not had a man in that home, then you don't understand what it really means. And for that woman to say what she said, she did not even she didn't try to dog dude. She just said what it was. So then you watch what she said about James, and she said, I never seen someone do, I never had the type of help that I have right now. And y'all have a problem with that. Y'all have a problem with that. Y'all really have a problem with her giving him his props. That's what it really is. It ain't about that other dude. Y'all use it as a scapegoat. Y'all have a problem with her giving him his props for being an excellent stepdad, because y'all don't have that for y'all kids. Because y'all don't have that. And that's the type of attitude that y'all carry around with y'all everywhere. A hateful, spiteful, terrible attitude. And that's what you do all day. You sit on social media being a hater. You sit on social media nitpicking that post all day. You sit on social media finding something to complain about. And that's your problem. That's why your life miserable. And that's even that, y'all missed the whole point when she was talking about that. She's talking about not even doing that to nobody because she felt like her life was so much better without the negativity. Y'all hate that. Y'all hate that for her. Y'all hate that she has somebody that's stepping up in her life. Y'all hate that for real. I can't post this comment on there, but my guy Antoine A. Crowder says that man, this culture is stupid. I've been stopped caring. Most definitely, man. I only make this post. You know my story a little better than other people because we have more of a personal relationship. And I want to give a shout out to my guy again. I gave him a shout out on social media yesterday, but my guy just helped me secure another contract, a big contract with the union, which he is a very integral part of. And I am now the financial literacy instructor for the cave over the summer, and we are working to secure this as a long-term contract. But shout out to my guy for opening that door for me. But in response to what he said, that's my problem, A Dot. We've grown way too comfortable, and people like us, we have to address some of this because I don't think people really understand how much hatred they have in their heart. You have people that are single mothers that and their baby fathers are doing less than what hers is doing, and they saying she crazy. You crazy. My baby daddy ain't kept my son while I went to work in 6 years. My son's 6. He ain't seen his daddy since he was 5 and a half. All that type of stuff. Listen, man, real is real, fake is fake. We have to make sure our standards stay consistent all across the board, man. And we not giving no guys no passes because they doing the bare minimum, dog. We not doing that no more, man. Not over here. We not doing that, man. You doing the bare minimum, and then you talking about, oh, my life was in shambles over the past year, and my baby mamas didn't. What are you talking about? They raising your kids. And if she having those type of problems, I don't know what the other baby mamas probably going through. She just found her somebody to take the weight off. Y'all tripping, man. How you a grown man and talking about what your baby mamas ain't did for you while they're raising your child or your children? They raising your children and you talking about what they ain't did for you and why you struggling. How you struggling? You don't got to wake up every day and take a kid to school. You don't got to worry about how they getting home every day. You don't got to feed them every day. What you mean you struggling? What you mean you struggling? Yeah, you might go through ups and downs. We all do. We go through ups and downs. We all do. Things happen. But what you mean you struggling over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months and you don't have your children in the house? Y'all sitting around playing video games, being bums, and then you want your baby mama to come save you? The same baby mama over there raising your child on her own, fending for herself. Yeah, that one particular one found somebody to help her, but who knows what the other one's going through, because most of y'all are dropping off babies and running. Y'all dropping off babies and running. If you in the home, you're not going to continue to make babies unless you are continuing to make them with the person who's in the home with you. But the guy that's in the home, they're not usually the ones making 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 babies unless they can handle them financially. These guys that's out here with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 babies and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 baby mamas, y'all women are still dealing with them and y'all giving them a shot to be the 9th baby mama. Then y'all complaining. And a lot of y'all are the ones who's talking trash about what Makeiva said. She's giving y'all game and y'all don't even peep it. She's telling y'all to step it up, expect a little more, put a little pressure on them. But instead, y'all arguing with her instead of heeding this game. A man that watches his kid on a weekend don't deserve praise. You don't deserve praise. I'm super daddy. I'm super daddy. I'm never praising you for doing the bare minimum. One of my guys just left from over here. I've watched him raise a daughter that ain't his. He know it ain't his, and that girl still call him daddy. And she like 20. I've watched him raise her and be everything that she needed in a dad. And you want to tell me that you sitting around letting your homeboys be half of dads and patting them on the back for that? You want to pat your homie, man, you a good dad. How? How? You ain't seen your homeboy say, "Oh man, I gotta cut this game off. I gotta go pick up my son, man. He's sick at school." I do that every single week. I got 4 kids. One of them are gonna call me. One of them will call from school throughout the week. I'm doing something. It's gonna be an early release, a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment. It's gonna be something once a week or more. So I've had it happen 2 times in one day, where I had to go up to one school to get one and then go up to another school to get the other one because they had, "Oh, dad, my stomach." My kids know my daddy coming. My daddy coming. And you talking about weekends? I'm a at-home daddy. Even though Cinco been with his mom for the past 2 years, he coming back home with me. And even when he was there, I get those phone calls. "Hey, Mr. Hill, Alvin's not feeling good," because his mom at work. I can move around because I set my own schedule. I move around. So boom, I'm getting those calls. You are a man that is not raising a child in your home. You don't get those calls. The mom has to make sure the kid get the daycare. So even if you contribute to daycare every month or some type of child support, you don't get those calls. You have the whole time to make money. That's something you shouldn't complain about. If me and Lily was over tomorrow and she had the kids here and I was grinding it out, I understand that Lily has to get the kids to school or pick them up. I gotta make something happen. I also understand that there's going to be phone calls. "Daddy, can you come get me? I'm not feeling good. I got a half a day." Blah 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 blah. I understand that because I was in the home with the child. Y'all are dealing with men who's never been at home with their children. They don't understand what it takes to really raise children. But you women are accepting the bare minimum, and y'all want everybody else to be happy with anything that they get above the bare minimum. And she don't have to accept that. She don't got to accept that. And y'all crazy for thinking that she should. Once again, she was clear that, "Hey, I can provide a certain type of lifestyle that I don't expect for you to be able to provide. Whatever you can provide should be provided, though." What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? It'd be different if she was on there saying, "Oh, I don't want no, you don't gotta buy. If you can't afford Gucci or Prada, don't buy my baby nothing." She like, listen, dog, I'm taking whatever you providing. I'm whatever it is a plus. But that's not even what I'm telling you. That's not the problem. You guys had a problem with her bigging up the stepdad or the guy that's in her life, taking care of a child that's not his. Y'all don't even see it. Y'all don't even see it. Y'all jealous because y'all don't have it. Y'all out here sleeping with all kind of bums. Y'all out here sleeping with all kind of bums except in the bare minimum. I told this story. So the other day I told somebody this story. So I have a 19, at the time my niece was 19, so I may have been 24, maybe 25. I'm only about 5 years older than this particular niece. So my niece had a baby at about 19, and then she started dating a guy. When she first started dating a guy, I asked, "Hey, I don't even to this day I've never met the oldest child's father, and I don't care to. He was young at the time. She was 19. He might have been like 17, whatever. I don't know. Whatever the reasoning was, I don't know. I don't know the guy. He ain't did much for the baby. It ain't really nothing to know. But she started dating a guy, and I said, "Does he take care of your daughter?" And she said, "Why would he have to do that? It's my responsibility." I said, "Oh, you sound like a fool. You sound like a fool." And at the time, I talked to my niece very regularly. My niece was like my little sister. Like at the time, it was like every day almost I talked to my niece. And I was like, "What you mean?" I said, "So you out there bending over for nothing? What? What you mean?" She was pissed. Because I was on vacation then too. I was in school. So when I'm talking to her, I'm like basically pulling her coattail. I said, "Listen, dog, you have a responsibility that is your daughter at the time, and the man that's dealing with you has to accept that responsibility fully, or he don't need to deal with you." What that mean? I said, "Oh, he need to provide. He need to make sure you okay, the baby okay, everything is taken care of. Bills need to be paid. You may need gas in your car, whatever. He need to make sure that all of that is taken care of." And she said, "It sounds like you want me to be a hoe." I said, "What?" Yeah, because if you feel like I just need to prostitute myself out, just say that or something. She was like going. And I said, "You really don't understand it." Now, God is good. Her and that particular guy are married. They have a few more kids now. They have a nice house. They're good. Everything is good, right? It ended up working out. But she understands it now. The guy actually is a pretty good provider. So she 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 understands it now. But that was maybe 15, 16 years ago. You know what I mean? Probably a little longer, maybe 16, 17. I think my grandniece is probably like 17 now. So that was about 17 years ago. But I'm trying to get you that to understand that even at 24, 25, I understood the concept. And I didn't have children then, but I understood that children, they need things. It takes a certain responsibility. Even when I was young and I met women or young ladies with children, I understood that this is a responsibility. Whether I want to take on that responsibility or not was completely up to me. But I did understand that that was a responsibility. I I met a lady. I didn't have kids at this time. I was in the streets and running around the streets, and I met a lady that was she was a very pretty lady, and I about chased her down. I seen her going into the post office. And when I say I about chased her down, I had to cross the street and do something. Boop, 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 boop. I almost got hit by a car, and I finally got over there. And she was like, "Boy, you you good?" And she was a little older, so I may have been like 27, 28 at the time, and she probably was like 40 or close to 40. And I was like, "Yeah, I just had to get over here, and introduce myself." I put on my best game face, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm Jackpot. What's your name?" And she told me her name, and she was like, "Listen, baby, you kind of cute. And she like, I see you, you doing your thing. You look like you're hustling a little bit." She said, "But I got 3 children, and if you don't want to take on full responsibility, let's not waste our time." And I jumped up, whoop whoop wop pop, doubled up, boop boop, ran back to my car because I wasn't ready to take on that responsibility. I didn't have not one child of my own, and at the time, I hadn't even dealt with the woman with the child. Like literally, I would. It was like, I'm straight. I don't want no child. I'm gonna go get my own kids. I'm not about to take on nobody else's kids, right? So I dealt with this young. I mean, I shot my shot at this lady, and her straightforwardness. It was exactly what I actually like. It was like, look, I do this and that, and she told me I take care of them pretty well. So I'm expect for you to come in and handle your business. I wasn't ready for that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready for 3 kids. I wasn't ready to go from 0 to 3, right? So this is the type of stuff that we have to do. We have to set the standard. We have to set the standard. Now I could have lied to the lady. Yeah, baby, I'm ready. I'm built for this. Whatever. But the fact that she was straightforward with me, I was straightforward with her. All right, it's good to know you. I'm gonna go on back across this street. Whoop, whoop, pop, 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 whoop, pop, 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 ran right across the street and got on about my business. So the problem here is that social media gives everybody an opinion. And social media allows people to hide behind their keyboards. And so you don't know the person that's commenting. They may feel like they know something about Makeiva, but she doesn't know them. So she can't hold the mirror to them and say, this is why you feel that way about me. Unless she wanted to go through and start to dig into some of these people profiles and see what they really had going on. So, but in general, most of the people who are commenting negatively towards her, they have a baby father or two in their lives who's doing the bare minimum, and they don't want to say, hey, that's the bare minimum, because they've seen someone else doing a lot less or receiving a lot less from a baby father, and they feel like, oh, at least he's not him, or he's not them. But in reality, being a father is also a full-time job, and it takes more than one person to make a child. So if you are a father and you are not in the home with your child and your child's mother, then you need to make yourself available to that mother on more than just a weekend. You need to make yourself fully available, because she has to be fully available for this child. And that's something you would understand if you were in the home. So the problem is, once again, that these women don't have men in the home. And the problem is, once again, that these men are not in the home with these children to be able to see what's actually needed for this child to be healthy, for this child to be happy, for this child to actually be a productive citizen in the world. It takes so much more than you can provide over the course of a weekend. Then these men are getting these kids for a weekend and just setting them in front of a video game. They're not talking to them about the birds and the bees, because they're going to leave that up to the stepfathers. They're not talking to them about what's really going on at school, because they're going to leave that up to the stepfathers. They are not getting these kids on the weekend and doing homework with them. They don't understand what's really going on, because they are only there to babysit. People hated the fact that she said babysit, but that's exactly what it is. If you only deal with your children on the weekend or while the mother is at work and you help out, that's all you are, is a babysitter. You a babysitter, but that child's blood is your blood, and you are still just a babysitter, because you don't have the same commitment to this child's nurturing that the mother has, because you don't feel that. Then you put another man in the mix, and these men back up even more, because they feel like, okay, he got it. Or they feel like they can't be close to the baby mama close enough for them to try to put their dick in her. Now they feel like, oh, she got a man over there. The man might be intimidating, or the man might be a little too much man for you, where you don't feel like you really competition for him. So you're going to stay the hell away from her while he's around. And then you're punishing your child by staying away, because you're not being active in your child's life, because you're jealous of a guy that's there and doing what you were too afraid to do, or not man enough to do, or you don't have the capacity to do, because that man is actually in the home with the child and actually teaching this child the things that you should be teaching them as a father. The step parent is only supposed to help. You don't have to totally uh, uh, negate your responsibilities. You don't have to totally be a hands-off parent because it's a step parent in the home, or somebody else who's taking that that position on, you still have to do what you have to do. But what happens is you have these mothers and fathers that's not in the home, and they want to come and give input, and they want to take pictures for social media, and they want to do everything else except what they're supposed to do. And that's the problem. And a lot of y'all are accepting this. A lot of y'all have gotten to the point where it's just life. And you got 2, 3, 4, 5 kids that's going through the same thing in your home because it's just life. So when you hear somebody like Makeiva say what she said, it touches your spirit. It digs deep into your soul because you know that you don't have that at home. You don't have a James at the house that's taking care of your kids and making sure that your kids are exactly who they supposed to be, who are saying, I'm going to give your kids what I give my kids, the same love and attention and affection. And then when my kids come around, you're going to give them what you give your kids, the same love and attention and affection. And then you have this man outside that basically hit and ran because he's talking about he did what he does on the weekends. And then he's talking about he had a bad year. How? I got 4 kids in my house. If it slows down for me and things get tight, it's understandable. Because I'm still paying for cheerleading and football and such else and this and that. If my business go down a little bit and I still got all of these expenses and I need a bigger home because all of my kids are here, I still got to spend gas money getting kids to school every day and back and forth and whatever Lily needs to make sure the kids are good. And Lily's got to go handle her business. So I got to make sure that the kids are picked up, the kids are fed. Everything that I do has to halt at a certain time because I have to do what a father has to do every day. I got to tell people, yeah, I can't take that 2:30 because I got to go hit the freeway and pick up my kids who are on different sides of the city. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, but you're going to talk about a weekend. Then you take weekends off when you feel like it. That woman said you ain't did a weekend in months. She said you've done 3 weekends in a year. Well, this year, it's the 7th month of the year, right? What is it? It's the 6th month of the year. It's what, 6/22. It's almost the 7th month of the year. You've done 3 weekends. That's 28 weekends and you did 3 of them. And you talking about you doing your best and you want some type of complaint. I moved out last year and you know what I did? I was in a room with my kids when it was tight. When it was tight where I was at, oh man, I don't want my kids over here. It's a little tight. We gonna go to the room. We gonna go to the pool. We gonna do whatever. But I had my kids every single weekend, and sometimes during the week when I could. It was tax time, so I was a little busy. And then it was another time where I was finishing school, whatever. But I've moved out, and I still did what I could. And even if Lily pissed me off, sometimes she said, "I need a couple dollars," and I said, "I ain't giving you nothing." But you know what I did? I gave it. I gave it because I understood. No matter what, you gonna need gas money. Kids grow, they need clothes. You gonna need, like, no matter what, because I'm a in the house daddy. It's different when the father is in the home for any extended period of time. And like I said, Lord forbid anything happen between us, I still have to contribute to the household if the kids stay here because I understand what it takes to raise children. You men are having multiple children by multiple women, and then you out doing whatever else you want to do, and then you talking about what your baby mamas haven't asked you about over the past year because you had a rough year. How do you have a rough year and your children aren't in the home with you? How? How, man? How do you expect these women to do anything for you and you basically left them hanging because it got tight for you? Come on, man. It's time for us to do better and be better. And women, you got to start expecting more from these men. You have to start expecting more from these men. Y'all are accepting the bare minimum, and that's what they giving y'all. It's time for us to step it up. And when I say up, I'm talking all the way up, man. These kids deserve better, man. They deserve better than a weekend daddy. A pair of shoes here and there. Some underwear. They deserve more, man. And that woman, it was nothing wrong with what she said. The problem is you guys have the lowest standards in the world, man. the lowest standards in the world. Men, y'all, if y'all meet a lady and she don't want to hold her baby's father accountable, run the other way. Now, if he just a bum and he completely out the picture, that's different. But if she's allowing him to just hang around and he's doing less than the bare minimum, then you need to keep it moving. It's only going to frustrate you because he's still going to be the father. He's still the father. Even if you doing everything, you don't get a bunch of Makeivas that's going to say, I respect this man for taking on this responsibility fully because they don't want to make a person feel bad. They don't want to make him feel bad. You a bum, but I got to worry about your feelings. I got to worry about hurting your feelings. So I got to neglect showing my man the love and appreciation that he deserves so I don't hurt your feelings about you being a deadbeat. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping out here, man. If he a dead, you call a spade, you a deadbeat. If that child has only been with you 3 weekends out of this past 6 or 7 months, then you a deadbeat, man. The only way I can see that is if you on a run. Let's say you driving trucks and you gotta go hit the road and you gotta get to the bag and you just like, look, I'm hot right now. It's banging. I know I ain't seen Junior, but here go 500. I'll be back. That's a different type of run. That's what type of run that a person have when they've been in the home with the child and they understand the responsibility that comes with having a child and raising a child and taking a child to games and fights and whatever else they got going on in school and what after school activities and whatever else. That's a different mentality if you've got to go get to the bag and you like, listen, I'm on a move, but I got you. Listen, I'm working 16-hour days, baby, but I got you. Everything is taken care of. Don't worry about it. I know I've been a little absent lately, but I got you. That's a different type of run. But for you to be out and bumming and slumming, and for you to say, well, I've been having it kind of rough the past year, and my baby moms ain't even they don't gotta ask you nothing, man. They don't need to ask you a damn thing, my guy. You don't have the responsibility in the house. So why do you feel like your baby mothers need to check on you and see what you need? And they're raising your kids. But these are the type of people that you women are laying down with. And then you feel like you deserve something different. I am glad that Makeiva found a man that's picking up this bum slack and she's showing him the love and appreciation he deserved because that deadbeat over there, call a spade, you a deadbeat. If what she's saying is true. Now, if what she's saying is a lie, then that's a whole different subject and it shows something about her character. But for the way that she explained this situation, and I only did about 20 to 30 minutes worth of research. I don't have the time to go digging back to 2004 posts and all the BS y'all talking about. But from what I seen, and I seen his post, her post, whatever, in that 20 to 30 minutes. But what I seen was she saying, hey, he did do something before. When I was in a club 2 or 3, whatever years ago, he would babysit. And people hate the word babysit, but it is babysitting because you just kept your child. You did not check on your child at school. You did not help them with schoolwork. You did not do that. You're literally babysitting. On the weekends, you babysit. The kids not taking home homework over the weekend. Most of the parents that do the weekends, they're not worrying about schoolwork. Most of the parents who just do weekends, they're not doing school projects with kids. They're leaving that to the weekly parents. So you are just babysitting. Y'all hate to hear the truth, but it is what it is. You're just babysitting. It's your child, but you're babysitting. And then for her to say it the way she said it and said, yeah, sometimes it was during the week. And that was back then. And blah, blah, blah. She literally said, I'm going to give credit where it's due, but that's where it stops. Y'all hate that. Y'all hate that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. That woman found somebody that's going to love her child like it's his. And I am happy for her. And I'm happy for James. And I'm happy for everybody else that's happy in the situation, especially that young man who has a real man in his life now, who's showing him how to be respectful, who's talking to him and going to help him grow into a very good young man. Because the father doesn't seem to understand that a child is a full-time job. You cannot just clock out on that. You can't just clock out and say, I'm having a rough year, and that's the only reason you got your kids for three weeks out of the past 28 of them at least. That's a deadbeat. Do the math. That's a deadbeat. And that woman is saying, I don't have a problem with him going over there. My son don't have a problem with going over there. So for you to only do 3 weeks out of the past 28, you're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat. Now I'm not a father that's going to sit here and do as much as I do. If you look on my post for Father's Day, you'll see when Lily posted me, the people on the cheer team was like, "Oh my God, he is a great father." I have a guy baby that's only 17 months, and listen, you see pictures of me holding her in there. I do so much. She come over, she take up my whole time. She take up my whole time. She literally sits on my lap the whole day for the most part, and then she lays on me until she go to sleep. And I got pictures and videos to prove it. I can be busy as I want to be. I try to do something that I can do. Maybe I'm doing a course. I could just press play and watch it while she's sitting on my lap. Cause she is on me. She is on me. And I'm probably talking her up. Probably Friday, they're gonna be driving her up. Hey, Pepe said. So I'm just telling y'all, I actually understand what's going on. Like I said, I came in the house the other day after taking Eli to a boys to men conference where we talked about mentoring young men and doing and the issues that young men face. And I took him to this so he could get some valuable insight and understand that he's not going through something that's just is only a situation where it's just him. I wanted him to see that all the young men are going through what you're going through. Right? He's 15. He's growing up. Eli taller than me, but his biological father is taller than me. His brother like 6'6", whatever. Like he like 19. So whatever the situation is, I just want you to know that you just sprouted up in the last 6 months. Your voice is getting deep. This is going on. This is all something that young men go through. This is all something that young men go through. You might feel a little socially awkward sometimes. It's something that young men go through. We had a talk there, we had a talk on the way back, but it's all something that young men go through, and I wanted him to understand that. And it was 4 hours. So when I got back, I had a house full of kids, a house full of this, some guests and that. And Yaya wanted to go to a party. I had to take Yaya to a party. I went and got peace on the way back because I had a house full of kids. Did that, sat down for a minute, had to go back and get Yaya from the party. Whatever it was, I did all of that. Just imagine you being a weekend dad and this not being your weekend because everything else is in boom. And now you got your whole weekend to do what you want to do. Let's say it's not the weekend. Let's say it's the week. Sometimes Yaya got practice. Cinco got practice. Eli got practice. Between me and Lily, we all over the city picking kids up from east to west to southwest. Cause Cinco is in southwest now. He plays soccer in southwest, so he got practice over there, and this going on over there. And you know what you doing? This is my point. If you are dealing with a man that has not raised a child in his home, he doesn't understand what it takes. So to him, those weekends are being a good parent. He's going to take all the pictures in the world. He's going to be the best social media parent you ever seen. Because he don't understand how much really goes into that. I was at training today at the cave for 7 hours, maybe 7, 8 hours, whatever it was, 6, 7 hours, whatever. All of my kids call me, all of them. Hey, Dad, can you bring something to eat? Hey, Dad, can I go outside? Hey, Dad, we cleaned up this and that and that. Hey, Dad, it was something. Text, calls, everything. It's different when you're in the home, man. It's different. So for me being a in the home father, I'm not giving anybody any slack for doing the bare minimum. I'm not giving you any slack for doing the bare minimum. I can't because I make sacrifices every single day. Like I said, this is the first live you've seen me do in close to 2 months, probably. In close to 2 months because I've been busy as hell. I've been busy as hell. Things are opening up a little bit for me so I can do live a little more. But if I was just single like I used to be with no kids, I could do albums every week. I could do whatever the hell I want to do. But you talking about somebody that get their child on the weekend and I'm supposed to tip my hat to them? You a fool. But that's what's going on because y'all only getting the bare minimum and y'all accepting the bare minimum from these men who don't do the bare minimum. They do less than the bare minimum. And they want y'all to give them a shout out on Father's Day? Or they feel a certain way about you giving a shout out to another man that's actually doing what he's supposed to do on Father's Day? Y'all crazy. And the fact that y'all think she wrong is the fact that y'all don't have what y'all have that y'all need to have going on. The fact that y'all think she wrong for saying, thank you, James, for being such a help and something that I never had before. And y'all talking about, well, you said he was a good dad in 2024. Yeah, because he was babysitting when I went to work to go get this money. He was babysitting. That man was babysitting. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Y'all can't knock that woman for giving her man a shout out for being a good man. Because y'all worry about somebody else's feelings being hurt. Y'all tripping, man. If his feelings hurt, rightfully so. If she's telling the truth about this man only having his child 3 weekends in the past 28. Nope. Let's say the past 30. Let's say he did 3 weekends in the past 30 weeks. That is a tenth of just the weekends. You're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat. Because if you add the weekdays in, my guy, you're doing probably 1/25th. Like, what? 1/20, that's a deadbeat. 1 out of 25. Let's just say 1 out of 25, right? 1 out of 25. That, just think about that. Out of, let's say, 25 days, you've had your child one day. You're averaging one day out of about 25 days. You're a deadbeat. The only way I'm giving you a pass is if you like a sports player or artist and you on the road and you paying all the bills and you taking, but for you to have very minimum monetary contribution and for you to do only one day out of 25 days, you are a bum. It's no other way around it. You're a deadbeat and a spade needs to be called a spade. And that's what it is. So y'all need to stop arguing with that woman unless that man has another side to his story where he's saying she's lying on me. I've had my child every weekend for the past 6 months or every other weekend for the past 6 months, which I also think is bum shit. But I'm just being, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say she's lying and you've done that over the past 6 months. You've actually contributed more than she's saying you contributed. And you pull out receipts and say, she's lying. I've been paying for school, or I've been buying school clothes, or I've been doing this, or I pay for books, or I pay for the football or the basketball or whatever else. If you can prove that, or you don't even got to show it. If you could just say that that's what you did and she lying, then that's a whole different thing. But y'all dead wrong. If that's the truth, you're dead wrong for making that woman feel like she's wrong for saying what it is and her giving a shout out to a man that's taking on a responsibility that's not his and doing what that man should have been doing. Y'all dead wrong, and that's the reason why you can't find a good man, or at least you can't keep a good man, because you don't understand the difference. And I hope y'all have a good night. I'm out of here, man.